A powder dissolved in water, poured directly between your most delicate garden plants, and every weed around them dies, while the plants themselves are completely untouched. Think about the dandelions, the bindweed, the ground elder, and the creeping thistle making your garden life miserable right now. Picture them in your beds. Now picture them gone.
Now, I need to be completely clear right out of the gate. This is not clickbait. This is chemistry. For decades, the garden chemical industry has acted as a quiet villain, pulling in massive profit margins by selling you highly expensive synthetic versions of something that fundamentally costs pennies. They basically bank on you not understanding basic plant biology. The real problem we face out in the dirt is that killing weeds is actually incredibly easy. I mean, boiling water kills weeds. The genuine struggle is killing those weeds without touching the prized plants growing just centimeters beside them. And for that, the industry sells you two bad options: a kill-everything spray that puts your entire garden at risk, or an incredibly expensive selective herbicide.
$20 to $40. That is exactly what you'll shell out at the garden center for those industry solutions. But there is a third option, an option that professional horticulturalists have quietly relied on for over a century, and I literally walked past it 100 times in agricultural supply stores without knowing what it could do.
This professional solution costs roughly $3 to $5 for an entire season of weed control. But listen to me very carefully here. Do not skip the rest of this explainer just to go buy it. If you skip the explanation and just go buy it, you could permanently damage your own garden. That warning is exactly why you need to understand how it works.
All right, here's the secret. Horticultural vinegar. You can grab it at any farm or agricultural supply store for just a few bucks, and a single jug easily lasts most of us an entire season. But let me be extremely precise. This is absolutely not the 5% white or apple cider vinegar sitting in your kitchen pantry right now. Kitchen vinegar will only temporarily knock a weed back. Horticultural vinegar contains 20 to 30% acetic acid. At that strength, it does something to weed cells that is immediate, total, and permanent.
Now, if kitchen vinegar kills weeds too, you're probably wondering how this is any different and how on earth it's safe to use right next to your delicate tomatoes and roses. Well, the answer is in the application, not the chemistry. I'll walk you through exactly how to apply it in just a minute. But first, you have to understand the science of why this actually works. Every single plant leaf has a waxy protective coating on its surface called the cuticle. It's basically the plant's armor against water loss and chemical damage. When 20% acetic acid contacts a leaf, it strips that cuticle away in a matter of minutes. The armor is gone. The delicate cells underneath are instantly exposed to the air. Moisture aggressively escapes, the plant can no longer regulate its temperature, and within 24 to 48 hours, those cells completely collapse. The weed is dead. But here is the single most critical revelation in this entire explainer. Horticultural vinegar has no soil activity. Let me repeat that because it's that important. No soil activity. The exact instant this acidic solution hits your garden soil, it is neutralized completely by the soil's natural chemistry. It does not travel to nearby roots, it does not persist in the ground, it kills only what it directly touches above the ground, and then it is literally gone. And that right there is exactly why it's so safe to use between your prized plants. Their cuticles remain intact because you didn't touch their leaves, and their roots are perfectly safe because the soil instantly neutralized any stray drips. The garden chemical industry has known this forever, folks. They didn't invent a smarter solution, they just convinced you theirs was the only one available. Before we get into the exact, precise application method that guarantees this works safely, I have a question for you. What weed is making your garden life miserable right now? Is it bindweed wrapping around your perennials? Maybe ground elder? Dandelions pushing up between your roses? Or grass creeping into your raised vegetable beds? Tell me in the comments exactly what you're fighting. I read every single one, and I will personally answer whether horticultural vinegar handles your specific problem. And if you're finding value in this, I'd really encourage you to subscribe. Look, this is honest, sponsor-free gardening. I have no sponsors, no affiliate links, no hidden product deals, just pure, tested information that genuinely works and saves you money. All right, let's get into the application. Let's break down exactly how you apply this, because precision is the line between success and disaster here. First, you need a small hand trigger sprayer, absolutely not a broadcast pump sprayer. Set that nozzle to its narrowest possible stream setting. We do not want in mist. Bring the nozzle down close, just 10 to 15 centimeters away from the weed. You are looking for complete leaf coverage with zero drift onto the plants you want to keep.
Only apply this in the morning or the evening, never in the brutal midday heat. And crucially, do not water the bed and do not apply it if rain is expected within 24 hours.
If you follow those steps to the letter, here is exactly what you're going to witness. At the 6-hour mark, you'll notice a slight paleness, a kind of translucency to the weed leaves. Fast forward to 24 hours, and you'll see complete cellular collapse. The plant will be totally limp. And by 48 hours, it is completely brown and finished.
Now, I am going to be completely straight with you about these warnings. We are dealing with a 20% acid. Warning number 1, it is a skin and eye irritant. You absolutely must wear gloves and eye protection. That is not optional. Warning number 2, the smell is pungent, so only apply this on a perfectly still day so the fumes don't travel. And warning 3, it will kill any plant tissue it contacts. Like I said, precision is not optional. One careless spray drifting onto a prized rose leaf, and that leaf will be dead by tomorrow morning.
Let me show you why following these rules is so worth it by sharing my own 3-year nightmare. I had a 2x1 meter raised vegetable bed that was entirely taken over by ground elder. For 3 solid growing seasons, I hand weeded it every 3 weeks. 40 minutes per session, right down on my hands and knees. I even bought a $22 selective herbicide that drifted and severely damaged 3 of my best tomato plants. I tried thick cardboard mulch. The ground elder just grew straight through it. Over those 3 years, I spent $90 on failed methods and spent 6 hours kneeling on soil that my knees honestly still remember.
Then I finally bought a bottle of horticultural vinegar. I spent maybe 20 minutes precisely treating every visible ground elder leaf. The very next morning, a Tuesday, I walked out with my coffee to check on it. The ground elder was completely collapsed and finished. And the real triumph here, the tomatoes and the basil sitting just centimeters away were totally, completely untouched. The total cost to end a 3-year war, just $12.
But I promised you absolute honesty, so we do need to talk about its limitations. Horticultural vinegar is an above-ground contact killer. It's not going to instantly kill deep established roots on day 1. Deep-rooted perennials like bindweed will inevitably try to push up new growth. But because this has zero soil activity, you can repeatedly target that new growth safely. Every time you spray those new leaves, the plant is forced to exhaust its deep energy reserves. Over a season of consistent, targeted applications, those roots simply run out of energy and die. It's a strategy, not magic.
Horticultural vinegar handles the weeds that are already there, but it doesn't stop new seeds from blowing in on the breeze. The true secret to a weed-free garden is what we build toward next. Dense, deliberate planting where your chosen plants cover every single centimeter, leaving absolutely no bare soil. But that begs a critical question for how we view our landscapes. If nature's default state is to aggressively cover bare soil with weeds, why are we spending so much money and backbreaking effort fighting her instead of simply filling that space ourselves? We'll answer exactly how to design those impenetrable plantings in our next explainer.